The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
You know what, Canucks fans, it's Thanksgiving, so I'm thankful, okay? I'm thankful for the Canucks' secret leader. I'm thankful for the Canucks' bright spot at center, and I'm thankful for this glass of wine, baby. And that's about it. These goddamn Canucks, man, come on!
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the POSTCAST here on Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Begg. Shout out to you and you for tuning in. And shout out to our friends over at FanDuel. Go download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. I hope you weren't betting on Elias Pettersson getting his first goal of the season tonight, because that didn't happen. And the Canucks dropped this one 5-2 to the St. Louis Blues. And man, oh man, we're 3 games into the season, and it's the same old shit here in Vancouver. And, don't want to make this guy too nervous. And more on that later with Rick Tocchet and his comments on Elias Pettersson. But Elias Pettersson may be looking a little nervous out there tonight for whatever reason, because a bad giveaway on the first goal takes a penalty that leads to another goal. I believe this is penalty at least. And the Canucks drop this one 5-2 to the St. Louis Blues. Now, there's lots of time to rip on Petey, right? Because it was not a great performance from him. But in fairness, not a great performance by a number of players on the Vancouver Canucks. And if you want to follow the stats, Kyle's going to smack me with that calculator. He's going to rip it out of my hand and smack me later on when he joins the show. According to the stats, Elias Pettersson was the 5th best player for the Canucks tonight, which is pretty telling because he did not look great out there tonight, not looking dangerous. And, one more thing on Petey quick. Jim Rutherford joined the Amazon Prime intermission panel with James Cybulski, shout out to the BC Bud, and Mike Rupp. And when he was asked by Mike Rupp about Elias Pettersson's game and what to expect from him, he talked about, the defensive side of his game is good. And that was about it. Because there's no offense coming from this guy. There's no threat on the ice. I mean, look, it was said on the broadcast, and I completely agree. The Canucks' best line on the ice tonight was the 4th line. Aatu Ratu, Kiefer Sherwood, and another BC Bud, Archie Bains. Suck it, all you Bains haters out there. Bains gets another one tonight. And in the comments, someone pointing this out, but Archie Bains now with more points than Elias Pettersson this season, man. Shout out to BW. Shout out to all the commenters. We'll get to more of your comments later on. But let's touch on some of the bright things, okay? Because Elias Pettersson not that good tonight. Again, Canucks losing by 3 goals on home ice to a team who I think games against the St. Louis Blues matter more than most games in the Canucks schedule, because this is a team that they are directly competing with in the mushy middle of the Western Conference. And tonight, the Canucks looked extra mushy against the St. Louis Blues, and that ain't a good thing. I mean, the St. Louis Blues, the Minnesota Wild, the Utah Mammoth, the Los Angeles Kings, those are the games I think Canucks fans should care the most about, because those are the teams the Canucks need to surpass and be better than if they're going to make the playoffs. And tonight, they were not better than the St. Louis Blues. But what the hell would we do in Vancouver without Kiefer the Reefer Sherwood, man? Kiefer the Reefer, Mr. 420 himself. What? Over 420 hits last season, setting the NHL record, and he dragged the Canucks into the fight tonight. Without Kiefer Sherwood, is this a 5-0 loss for the Vancouver Canucks? I mean, look, not only is Kiefer Sherwood a spark plug for this team, throwing the body, scoring big goals, celebrating hard, man. I love a guy who celebrates hard, man. You're playing in the NHL. Go have fun. Go celebrate your goals, man. You don't have to be Mr. Cool, Mr. Calm and Collected out there. And Kiefer Sherwood is not that guy. But not only is he scoring goals for the Vancouver Canucks, he's the secret leader of this hockey team. I'm telling you. Being at training camp, this guy, one of the first guys out there to take Brayden Schenn under his wing at training camp, talking this guy up, saying this kid's going to be a stud. He's going to be in the NHL a long time. And in fairness, a lot of guys in the Canucks were saying that. But when I was out there at training camp, Kiefer Sherwood was the guy I often saw with Brayden Schenn, talking to him on the ice, off the ice. And again, that's what you want your leaders to do. Take the young guys under their wings, show them what it's like. And Kiefer Sherwood knows, man. He knows how valuable it is to play in the NHL. This guy had to grind for years, undrafted, not even breaking into the NHL until he's 27 years old on a full-time basis. He knows what it takes to be a full-time NHLer. He knows how hard it can be, and he doesn't take it for granted. And oh yeah, he's a pretty good example for the young guys as well. And oh yeah, he's playing with two guys in his line tonight that have less than 100 games with NHL experience combined. So Kiefer Sherwood, again, not only producing on the ice, but he is the Canucks' secret leader, okay? And let's stay on that line for just a second, because keeping things positive, keeping things bright as Thanksgiving, baby. Yo, cheers to all you out there, okay? Again, I'm thankful for this French wine, man. You know what? Need some more French guys in my life, man. Where's Antoine Roussel at? Come on. Aatu Ratu. I think tonight he was the Canucks' lone bright spot at center ice. And John Tortorella, this quote gets brought up a lot, even 12 years later, 11 years later, since he departed the Vancouver Canucks. But Aatu Ratu being the Canucks' best center, that's great for Aatu Ratu. It's not so great for your Vancouver Canucks. But you got to give Ratu credit, man, and give Kyle Bowen credit. I know he's I think he's got to, maybe jerk one out or have a good cry before he hops on, man. I mean, it was a tough night for Canucks fans, but for Aatu Ratu, he's in the fight. And you love the way he plays. It seems like Kiefer Sherwood's even rubbing off on this guy. Bringing the physicality, really hard on pucks. You know what? Coaches love guys who win a puck battle, right? And Aatu Ratu wins a lot of puck battles. He won a lot of puck battles tonight for your Vancouver Canucks. And again, the Canucks' fourth line, they might have been their top line tonight. And in fact, I think they were the best guys on the ice. Again, if you look at the stats, I mentioned the analytics, the stats. Smack me with that calculator. Boom, bam. Elias Pettersson, apparently the fifth best Canuck tonight. The top three were Aatu Ratu, Archie Bains, and Kiefer the Reefer Sherwood. But man, oh man, a bit of a rough night for the Canucks overall. Let's throw it to the Commodores for a second, man. And before we carry on with the show, man, you're listening to Locked On Canucks. Oh man, some more love for Kiefer Sherwood here. Shout out to Phoenix saying Bains is one of the best players on the team tonight. And I agree. And I think today was a critical game for Archie Bains, because I've kind of said it, the 3-game window. We're now past that 3-game window for Archie Bains. With Teddy Bluger potentially expected back in the lineup on Thursday. We'll learn more about that at practice tomorrow. But really, he was the odd man, or he was the guy that was likely to be replaced by Teddy Bluger if and when he comes back to the lineup. And I thought tonight started off horrendously for Archie Bains. First shift of the game, he throws it back to his defenseman. No one's there. And I'm like, Archie, what are you doing, man? You're putting yourself out of this lineup. But he picked it up from there, man. He picked it up from there. Nice pass to Ratu, leading to Kiefer Sherwood's first goal of the game. And again, just showing some of the moxie in corners, right? I love the guy this way turns in corners to shake defenders, be a bit elusive out there. Again, not the quickest guy in the world, not the biggest guy in the world, but he knows how to use his body. And again, there's a couple guys in this team playing nervous. Elias Pettersson, one of them. Archie Bains has his moments where he looks nervous too. But for tonight, Archie Bains looked pretty damn good on that line with Kiefer Sherwood and Aatu Ratu. And let me stick in the middle for one more second before we hop to the other side. Do report cards here on Locked On Canucks, where we go through the entire lineup. I talked about Aatu Ratu being the Canucks' lone bright spot in the middle, and let's get to the other guys in the middle tonight, aside from Elias Pettersson. We got Nothing Is Perfect in the comments, man. Go check out Nothing Is Perfect on YouTube. The guy, he's a beauty. He's a beauty. He's saying Coots has got to go back to junior, right? I don't want to say that's necessarily the case, but the more the games go on, the more it's looking that way. And now, look, I think Coots has been fine. I really do. He hasn't made a lot of mistakes. I think his positioning has been a bit off at times, maybe not clogging up the lanes like a normal NHLer would. Again, his size, a little bit of an issue out there. But I thought he played fine overall. Had a good check on Brayden Schenn at one point in this game. But you can see he's just a guy that's not going to get a lot of ice time. And a guy who's, I guess, he's more like your fourth line center on this team, right? Even though on the stat card, it's Ratu, Bains, and the Coots, Lecker, Mackey line with Drew O'Connor as your fourth line right now. And you do wonder how much longer the Coots experiment can last in Vancouver. We all want to cheer for this guy, right? An 18-year-old, man. 18-year-old. Making this team, man. He's played in the NHL before half of the male population loses their V card. Unbelievable. But you do have to wonder if this guy's going to stick around in the NHL, especially with Teddy Bluger coming back, and especially with Archie Bains, I think, looking better than Brayden Coots over the first 3 games of the season. So Brayden Coots is a guy to watch if and when Teddy Bluger comes back to the lineup. I keep saying when. Or if Teddy Bluger comes back to the lineup. He's coming back, man. Sorry, Bob Bluger. Teddy Bluger is going to come back to the lineup. And I do wonder if Brayden Coots will be the odd man out. Now, there's one center we haven't talked about in this team so far in the first 10 minutes of the show, and that's Filip Chytil. Filip Chytil, man, you can see the wheels out there. You can see how he finds himself in open space. Remember when Pettersson used to do that? Okay. Filip Chytil, though, the turnovers have been an issue. A couple more bad turnovers tonight for Filip Chytil. Again, I think sometimes I feel like, with my brain, I talk before I think. Sometimes I feel like Filip Chytil skates before he thinks out there. He skates himself into trouble, or he just makes bad plays with the puck. Again, you like a guy that moves his feet. You like a guy who looks dangerous. But man, oh man, he's got to clean things up on the defensive side as well. And on a night like tonight for your Vancouver Canucks, where you have Elias Pettersson turning the puck over in his own end and it leads to a goal, Filip Chytil making bad turnovers. These are your top two centers on the team, goddammit. Both of those guys need to play a lot better if the Canucks are going to prove the doubters wrong, because right now they're looking as mushy as ever, and that is not a good thing, all right? All right, let's get to report cards on the other side here on Locked On Canucks. We may even be joined by Kyle Bowen, see if he's done crying about Elias Pettersson yet. I'm going to pause for an ad break here and be back on the other side here on Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to the program, we got to talk about the monies, baby, all right? You know what? Whether you have a lot of money or whether you have a little money, it always makes sense to manage it properly, all right? And that's where Monarch Money comes in, okay? They're here for busy people like you and you and you. And even if you're not busy, but you prefer to scratch your sack or look at a spreadsheet, I mean, come on, who doesn't? Then you need to use Monarch Money, okay? If you've been putting off organizing your finances, Monarch Money is here for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, and get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of that money, baby. And guess what? You don't even have to touch a spreadsheet, okay? And man, oh man, maybe you can touch your partner more if you use Monarch Money. Oh, baby. I'm telling you, man, Monarch Money easing the stress in my life. I can manage my accounts with my wife. And because of that, I got less stress, baby, okay? And that means with less stress, I can last 43 seconds longer in the sack. Why 43 seconds? Because I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan, baby. Make sure you go check out Monarch Money. Go use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off of your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. All right, we're back here on Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, and this is the part of the show where we talk about every single player on the Vancouver Canucks. Get involved in the comments if you're here watching on YouTube Live. This is 5-ish minutes for report cards. All right, this is 5-ish minutes for report cards here on Locked On Canucks, and let's kind of go through it line by line. So we got the first line here, Jake DeBrusk. Let's give him I'm going to give him a C+ tonight. I think he had one good pass. Can't remember who it was to, but he almost set up, I think it was maybe Filip Chytil for a goal when they shook up the lines. But again, you want to see more from a guy like Jake DeBrusk. C+. Elias Pettersson, I'm giving a D tonight, man. Maybe that's even too kind. I think Kyle Bowen wants to take that calculator and smack me once again. And again, in the comments, I'm not seeing a lot of love for Elias Pettersson, but hey, the fancy stats said he was one of the best Canucks in the game tonight. I'm not sure if I'm believing that, but look, it's clear that this guy, there's a different standard for him. And through three games, he has absolutely not met that standard so far. Brock Besser, far too. Was Brock Besser even playing tonight? Oh my God, I know he had 2 goals in his first 2 games, but largely invisible tonight. And again, Elias Pettersson can do it all by himself. But someone on the lad's got to do something. And I don't really think any of them did anything tonight. Jake DeBrusk and Brock Besser ended up playing with Filip Chytil in the third period. Is there potential there? Sure. But, they didn't, there wasn't much there. I said D. Yeah, I saw B in the comments. So I said D for Elias Pettersson. Because, hey, you know what? I guess defensively he was fine, except for that one horrendous turnover that led to the Blues' first goal of the game. Brock Besser, let's give him a C-. Evander Kane, I'm going to give him a C. And I feel like Evander Kane's speed's been a bit of an issue. I hate Evander Kane on the power play. I've hated him there so far this season. Bad passes back to the point. I think he passed it out of his own zone at one point. Try to bull rush to the net, man. Trying to put the team on his back. And all it does is cough with the puck. It ends up down the ice again. Please, for the love of God, get Jonathan Lecker-Mackey on the top unit and see what he can do. C for Evander Kane. I'm going to give Filip Chytil a C- tonight. Didn't really like his game. Connor Garland, I'm going to give a B tonight. I think Connor Garland, much like Kiefer Sherwood, he's a guy that you always notice that there's something always happening with Connor Garland, even though he was out there for a shorthanded goal. I mean, man, oh man, look at the evolution of Connor Garland becoming now one of the team's top penalty killers and top offensive threats. Remember we thought Elias Pettersson was going to do that? Man, oh man. Drew O'Connor, I'm going to give him a C- tonight. I mean, other than drawing that penalty in the third period, Drew O'Connor also had a couple turnovers himself. And yeah, again, when the St. Louis Blues scored their second goal of the game, my wife goes, "Who's that guy? He sucks." I got another funny quote from my wife that I'll get to later on in the show, man. She made me burst out laughing at one point. So C, what I say for Drew O'Connor? C sounds about right. Brayden Coots, give him a C+, man. Trying hard out there, not playing too much, not too noticeable, not making any mistakes. Jonathan Lekermacki, didn't see much of him tonight. Give him a C. R. Steve Baines, I'd give him a B tonight. Aatu Ratu, I'd give an A-. I said I really liked Aatu Ratu's game tonight. The lone bright spot at center for your Vancouver Canucks was Aatu Ratu, okay? Man, oh man, maybe he should have been drafted higher in 2021, but that is revisionist history now, baby. And Kiefer Sherwood, give the guy an A+, man. Come on, round of applause for you. I'm thankful for Kiefer Sherwood, man. Round of applause for Kiefer, the Reefer, Sherwood. Thank God Kiefer Sherwood is on our hockey team. A reminder, he's only making $1.5 million. Holy! He's definitely playing much above his pay grade. Quinn Hughes making things happen out there. Again, a turnover or two tonight again, kind of like the Edmonton game, but he tries to put the team on his back, and you just hope at some point this season the forwards help him out, because right now they are not helping him out at all. But for his effort, I'd give him a B+ overall. I know there's a higher standard for Quinn Hughes, much like there is Elias Pettersson, but you see Quinn Hughes wheeling and dealing and trying to make things happen for your Vancouver Canucks, and it's hard to hate that. Phil Pronik, give him a B-. I don't know why Philip Pronik was arguing so hard about the high sticking call. Maybe just a little butthurt because his team's not playing very well, but Philip, part of the issue, buddy. DPD out there tonight. I give him a B. Didn't mind DPD's game at all. Skating alongside Tyler Myers. Tyler Myers was a little chaotic tonight. I'd give Tyler Myers a C. But hey, these were the D pairs that Kyle and I really wanted to see heading into the season. Hughes, Hronek, DPD, Tyler Myers, Marcus Pettersson, Victor Mancini. And, Marcus Pettersson, solid beat tonight. Dan Hamhuis, cool, calm, collected. Maybe one bad breakout pass, but overall, just he gives you what you expect, right? There's not a lot of variability in his game, unlike a guy like Tyler Myers. And Victor Mancini, to be honest, I thought he looked pretty rough tonight. I mean, you want to see the excitement, the bull rushes up the ice, boom, bam, but he looked a little sloppy with the puck. His clears often weren't getting out of the zone. Again, just gave one for Victor Mancini. But again, it wasn't really a great start for the season for him. And Kevin Lankinen, let's give him a C overall. It's hard to fault him on a lot of the goals. Maybe the Nathan Walker one that was down low, you like to see him get across and stop that one. But Kevin Lankinen, I think there's better nights ahead for him. I don't know, again, if a lot of goals were his fault tonight, but he led in 4 goals, one was an empty netter. It's a so-so night. So let's give him a C overall. How about that? That was close to 5 minutes, man. Unbelievable. All right, let's pause for a quick break here. We're going to wrap up with a lot of your comments here on the other side on Locked On Canucks. Hey, you know what, man? At least, the Vancouver Canucks might not be winning games. My fantasy football team finally won a game, all right? So I'm feeling a little spicy. And when I'm feeling spicy in the betting department, you bet your ass I go check out FanDuel, okay? For NFL, NHL, the Major League Baseball playoffs, all right? Am I betting for the Blue Jays? No comment on that, man. It's I'm a company man over at Daily Hive, and there's a clear rooting favorite there. But hey, I'm just going to say this. The West Coast bias is always in my heart. Whatever you're betting on, go check out FanDuel. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll knock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You can bet on the games, and of course, you got props coming up the wazoo, baby. Who doesn't love a good prop bet? Boom, bam. How about the Zach Ertz touchdown for the Washington Commandos, okay? Zach Ertz, man, still doing it at the age of 47. Man, he's my inspiration, okay? Guys who are older than me, I'm 32 years old. Guys who are older than me and they still kill it in life, you're my inspiration, man. So you bet your ass, I bet, had a little prop it on Zach Ertz, anytime touchdown. Whatever you bet on, go visit FanDuel and download the FanDuel app today to get started, baby. All right, we're back here on Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every damn day, man. Even on Thanksgiving, And didn't have the show earlier today. Thought we'd have a nice Canucks win to talk about again. Playing a team who the Canucks really need to beat in the St. Louis Blues, or at least show something better than they showed tonight. Not just pull it together in the third period there and try to muster a comeback. Like actually come up the gates firing. And that's something that the Canucks just haven't done through any of their first 3 games. It's been a lot of slow starts, and this team wasn't a great first period team last year. They weren't a great third period team last year. The second period is kind of where they did their damage last season, but through 3 games, none of the first periods have been really all that threatening. They're a team that's playing like they're hungover for the first period. Guys, stop going to the Blarney Stone, man. I know it's a great spot to be, but you got to play a bit better to start the game, especially when you're facing a team like the St. Louis Blues on the road on Thanksgiving with the crowd. Oh man, do I got the man himself, Kyle Bowen, done crying. Are you done crying, man? Are you done crying? What's going on, man?
Nah, just going for a walk, man. Just walking it off, man.
That's all right, man. Cheers to you, buddy. Like I said, I'm thankful for this wine tonight, man, because I got a lot to whine about, buddy.
Where am I? Trevor, where am I? Trevor, why am I in Saskatoon? I took a 3-hour private jet right to Saskatoon right after that one. I said, screw it, man. I'm going to become a real estate agent. I'm not signing up for this for the next 79 games. AKA, I need to look at the clouds, man. I need to walk it off. We'll be fine, Canucks fans. It's Thanksgiving. Just walk it off, man. They say, Trevor, man. Trevor, don't worry about a damn thing, bro. Don't worry about a thing. Because every little thing is going to be all right. Don't worry, Trevor.
I like it, man. I like your energy, man. Let's see if the commenters are worrying here on Locked On Canucks. Oh my God. I think the commenters are worrying a little bit more than you. Rick Roma in the comments saying enough is enough. Send Quinn to New Jersey already. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, really, man.
That's the Illuminati. That's what happens, man. Speak of the devil, right? Halloween season. Isn't this the scariest start to the Vancouver Canucks season ever of all time? It feels like that, Trevor. I can't even speak English right now. I'm scared. I constantly have that Halloween theme music just playing in the background. I'm probably gonna have sleep paralysis tonight. But that's okay, yo. Don't worry. Elias Pettersson will be back, yo. It's only been 3 games, Trevor. Hey, Trevor, you've had a bad first week at work. Come on, man.
It's the way it goes, man. Yeah, it's another interesting comment about Quinn Hughes here. I think it was let's see if I still have it highlighted here, but from Zach flexing in the mirror, Zach with the best bathroom selfies among Canucks Nation, saying hot take. Hughes looked like he was doing too much tonight. Weird to say, but I know there's a lot of times where he didn't look like himself in this game. I think that there's some truth in this comment. I don't want to say Quinn Hughes didn't look like himself, because Quinn Hughes wheeling and dealing, being a one-man show, that's Quinn Hughes looking like himself. But I do agree with the fact where maybe he's doing too much out there. Like it feels like he's trying too hard to make up for a mediocre offense, Kyle. And that part kind of worries me. Like I said earlier on in the show, the Canucks forwards need to help this guy out, man. He's, Kiefer Sherwood was doing his thing. Ratu banging bodies on the fourth line. But this offense has to help Quinn Hughes out, Kyle. I mean,
Elias Pettersson has to help Quinn Hughes. Elias Pettersson has to help Quinn Hughes, man. That's it, man. We'll have random bursts of offense from Hedl, Garland, Sherwood, great, phenomenal. But until Elias Pettersson is back and can instill confidence in his teammates, whether it be his line mates or the bench, that, I got your back tonight, relax everyone, because he's the guy that's supposed to, relax everyone. You know what I'm saying? Correct me if I'm wrong. Part of the reason why Brayden Coots, he's 18, he's all that, boom, bam. But if you want some magic to be sparked within him, it'd be nice if the best player on the team was balling out. We're chasing through 3 games. Thank God we played the Calgary Flames, but we've been chasing. We've been chasing for 80% of the season. So, and yeah, he just needs to do more. And I was thinking about, a lot of people talking about Elias Pettersson's goal that he generated. It wasn't his goal, it was Brock Besser's goal, I'm sorry, that he generated on Saturday, because he checked Darnell Nurse. And that's the problem with all this. No, straight up, because it's gotten so bad for this guy that he's not dominating Darnell Nurse 100% of the time. Like he's losing 50% of those battles to any player that he's going up against. Like he's just not dominating. And I'll also say this though, just to keep it positive, because it's Thanksgiving. It's Trevor, man. It's Thanksgiving. What are we doing here? Yo, he had moments. He had moments where he looked a bit more comfortable. But I don't know. I think that it's obvious he's the biggest issue with the Canucks, and he's not confident. But the only chance the Canucks have in keeping Quinn Hughes is making sure Elias Pettersson balls out. And I don't know if he's that close to it, to be honest. I don't know if he's that close to like it's concerning, Trevor. Hey, Trevor, happy Thanksgiving. I'll shut up.
Well, here, let me do the ice time report for you here quickly, because we talked about this during the post-game show against the Oilers on Saturday. Evander Kane led the team in ice time on Saturday. He was down all the way to 7th tonight against the St. Louis Blues. But here were the order of the Canucks in terms of ice time. Connor Garland led the team with 18:37. Then you had Besser at 17:33, which boggles my mind because you barely noticed him out there tonight. Jake DeBrusk 3rd, Filipino 4th, Kiefer Sherwood 5th, and Elias Pettersson once again 6th among Canucks forwards in ice time, playing 15:36 in this game. I'm very curious to hear what Adam Foote has to say about that, because
he's not impressed. He's not impressed, man. That's what it is, though, right? He's just not impressed. And Elias Pettersson is like, I don't know if they're trying to wake him up early and just like let him know from the jump that this is not good enough, because that's clear. That's clear. Like he's getting quote unquote benched or not playing as if he's better than 80% of his teammates. He's just like the rest, and he's like Pius Suter. I say it, like who's better, Pius Suter and Elias Pettersson? I'm telling you, out of 100 matchups, based on how those two guys are playing, I'm picking Pius Suter 49 times, and that's the problem. That's the problem. He's just like another guy, and on one end, Trevor, just to be a little critical of Adam Foote, for the sake of doing it, I think it's in his best interest to not be playing mind games or try to be tactical. Just put this guy on more than anyone. Like he needs the boost, and the team, like it's not like guys like Hedel and Coots, for that matter, and Evander Kane are like earning those minutes. Like they're playing twice as good as Elias. They're all playing the same. So Adam Foote, if that's the case, don't send the message to Elias. Just keep putting him on the ice. I would do that.
Damn, man, there we go. Let's reward mediocre play with more ice time. But no, Kyle, I see exactly where you're coming from, man. Like it's the Canucks, and maybe we'll talk about it this week. Can the Canucks win without Elias Pettersson?
They can't.
It's going to be a fascinating. Well, save that for later this week on Locked On Canucks. But Kyle, I think you make a good point. Like the Canucks' best chance of being anything that remotely resembles a Stanley Cup contender is for Elias Pettersson to bounce back. And I'm telling you, confidence is the issue with the guy. You laughed at me when you're like, "Oh, tendonitis. Oh, you're discounting his injuries." Not, man. It's a mental thing with this guy. You can see it. Yeah. It's a mental thing. Yeah. It's if that wasn't evident last season, it's sure as shit evident right now. So you might be right that the best way to boost is this guy's confidence. Just give him the ice time, let him play through, because the Canucks might be screwed without him, man.
Yeah, dude. And again, it's not like Evander Kane's playing twice as good as him.
But Attirati might be, man.
No, exactly. That's the thing, though. It's like take away his minutes, Evander's minutes. It's like the same thing with Tyler Myers, bro. Like you got to play these guys less. And those are pretty similar players, because they turn over the puck. Like when they're bad, they just keep turning over the puck, and it's crazy because the puck just follows them, right? They're big and fast and long, and it's hockey, and science is a thing. But man, oh man, if that's the case, like be more efficient. And Evander Kane, just he's just not crisp right now, man. Even that goal that went, it was like the 3rd goal, right, or the 4th goal for the St. Louis Blues. Like everyone's talking about the back check, or even the fact that he was in too deep on the play when Quinn jumped in, right? But the fact that Evander once again has a clear lane to pass to Quinn Hughes, and he just rifles it like a half a foot away, it just changes the whole. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing is crisp with the guy. That whole play was just dirty from Evander, and he's just. Oh, man, like I said, these guys don't deserve more minutes than Elias Pettersson, and that's saying a lot, because Elias Pettersson isn't doing much. But man, oh man, it's in this team's best interest to just play Pettersson more, because nobody else is going in. We need this guy to feel any bit of confidence. And Trevor, it's Thanksgiving. Like you got to be there for your people, and it's too like I know people are tired of him being a little I don't want to say soft, man. I'm soft too, but maybe weak right now mentally, whatever, right? But at this stage, I feel like it's pretty clear that he just needs a boost. Like he needs somebody to help him out, And I don't know, playing him more might just get that. And Trevor, I know I'm just rambling here, but again, don't you agree with me that at least in the second half of the game, don't get me wrong, he still got pushed off the puck a couple times, and he wasn't 100% crispy with it, but the play started to like tilt a bit when he was on the ice.
With Evander Kane, you mean?
No, like in the second half of the game, with Pettersson, I'm sorry. Like it just seemed like it was better than the first half of the game, and
Yeah.
I know
I mean,
the
he
bar's
recovered
low.
from the bad giveaway. He recovered from the penalty, but it didn't feel like it was tilted enough. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, of course.
I do feel like part of the reason it felt like it was tilting was Kyle, one of the combos that we wanted to see heading into this season. Like I said it quite a few times going into this season. Every Dayers know the two combos I like the best with Pettersson, potentially on paper, were Höglander, Besser, and Pettersson, or Kane, Garland, and Pettersson. And we saw Kane, Garland, and Pettersson in the third period there. I thought they had some moments. That's largely because of Connor Garland kind of willing the team towards the net, right? So I thought Pettersson looked better, but I thought Connor Garland had a lot to do with it.
Yo, Trevor, you're bang on. You're bang on. Like we just talked about, play Pettersson more. Show your support. Like even physically on the ice. Again, we're talking about science. Besser and DeBrus aren't those guys for Pettersson right now because I know people hate to hear this, but he needs help. I'm just saying right now. Maybe not when he's feeling like an alien and super confident and Austin Powers like, but right now he does. And Garland gives him the best chance because, like, again, he needs the puck. He needs, just things going his way. And Garland's just the only guy, in my opinion, the only guy that needs. I want to see Sherwood, Garland, and him together, to be honest. And look, we keep talking about. I know now we're rambling. I know you got to end the show off quick here, but look, let me talk about Kiefer Sherwood because I missed that part of the show. Bro, that guy's the engine. And what were the minutes today? Like, please tell me that Kiefer Sherwood played more than Evander Kane. Please. Don't tell me he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
play
thank
more
you.
Than Evander Kane, yep.
Thank you. Like that's got to be a must. We're talking about a 29-year-old
100%.
Kiefer Sherwood, a 30-year-old Kiefer Sherwood versus a 35-year-old Evander Kane, and less is more with Kane. And I think more is more with Sherwood. Like he has that motor, he has that main character energy, and this team kind of needs more of those guys. And Trevor, it's not just about his mojo. I'm impressed with this guy's skill set, man. Like he's a smart player. He's not 95 overall playmaking or anything like that, but he's smart. He's cerebral. He's got the speed, and he's got a knack around the net. He's got a good shot, and I don't know. I feel like we might be seeing like a different version of like Joel Pavelski here, man, for the next like 4 or 5 years, like 25 goals. Like if you give him opportunity and give him minutes up the ice, or just even more minutes in general, like Kiefer Sherwood could turn into like. I'm not scared to sign this guy and keep this guy on my team territory. Like again, the leadership has a lot to do with it. I love his connections with the fans, how confident he is, and like that type of energy wills teams into the fight. And like he's doing it right now, man.
Yeah, and I do wonder what lineup changes we will see heading into the game in Dallas on Thursday. Got a couple days to kind of digest that, but one last thing I'll say about Kiefer Sherwood is last shift of the game. He skated alongside Pettersson and Besser, and I know the Canucks, they just gave the empty netter as 5-2. I thought that's pretty telling that was the moment of the game where Adam Foote said, all right, Kiefer, you played well. Go play with Pettersson and Besser, who had not done much all night. And I do wonder if that's something, Kyle, we might see heading forward because, look, I get having Sherwood on your fourth line, right? Fourth line in quotations because really it was Kutzlecker, Mackey, and O'Connor. That was the fourth line. I get it because it kind of spreads out the Canucks talent, much like the Connor Garland experience, right? And his game is suited to that, that physical grind in your face, bottom six type game. Like it does suit that kind of role, but he needs to play more, Kyle. That's the bottom line. And I do wonder if he will play with Pettersson and Besser because tell me I'm wrong. Is Kiefer Sherwood kind of doing the things that you expected Jake DeBrus to do?
Yeah. Could Sherwood, Garland, and Pettersson work?
Sherwood, Garland, and Pettersson? I think it could work. I do wonder what it does to the rest of the lineup, though, when you have Sherwood and Garland on the same line. Right? This is not a deep team, Kyle. Right?
Yeah, but okay, like if you would...
up, but man, oh man, DeBrusque and Besser have been so. Like maybe they could do something with Hedl. Then you're back to, I think Kane in your bottom six makes sense because he's just not a top six player. Get him off power play one. Get him out of the top six. As I somewhat reflected that tonight. So I do have some concerns about the rest of the lineup when you stack Sherwood and Garland together. But I mean, just in a nutshell, I do like the idea of them playing on the same line.
How many more minutes do you have here? I want to ramble for like 2 more minutes. Can we do that? 3 more minutes? I want to ask.
Yeah.
2 things. Okay, maybe. Okay. the first thing's a light note. I'll just say this, and you don't have to rebuttal. But Canucks fans should be scared of their defense because it's been shit the last 2 games, and forward group has been scary, and now we can't bank on our defense. Like, oh, this is a cause for concern, and now we let in like 4 or 5 goals to the Blues, and 4 were actually against the goalie. It might be concerning, but I think you have to look at what happened in the third period of that game today and be very impressed with Kevin Lankinen. Like, he kept the team in the fight. St. Louis was like moving left to right. There's like the whole game, they were just like creating like chance after chance after chance, and they still had chances in the third period, including, was it 1 or 2 power plays? I forgot for the Blues, but Kevin Lankinen was good in the third. Like, he made that possible for us to, I don't know, maybe survive and get a point. And coming off of what Demko just did, I think that was really important for Kevin Lankinen to at least just have a strong, clean last 20 minutes, and he did that. And I honestly speaking, like, look at the goals the Blues scored to get today. Like, yeah, like the only way you stop that is if Thatcher Demko's doing what he did on Saturday, and that's kind of hard to do. What I'm trying to say is, like, I can't really blame Kevin Lankinen too much for anything today. Anything.
Yeah, it was honestly, it was an average performance, right? There were no bad goals, but he was outplayed by Binnington. The St. Louis Blues had 3.5 expected goals for, and they scored 4. Like, it was an average game from Kevin Lankinen. Again, nothing terrible about it, but nothing spectacular about it either, right? I think that's why I give him a C, right? Maybe C was a bit too harsh.
I thought the third period was spectacular. I was impressed. First game of the year, you're coming off of what Demko's just doing. Like, there's some pressure on this guy, and I'm just happy that he held it down, because I think it was important for his psyche to not allow another goal in it, even for the fans. Like, I have a lot of faith in Kevin Lankinen. That's all. Oh, and the second thing, like, I don't know if you touched on it, but you said it off the top of today's episode. Like, Rick Talkis said something about Elias Pettersson. I want to know what you heard, because I never seen that quote. I just saw a quote about the media. I don't know if you just had Pettersson on your mind and you're freestyling an episode and it's like Eminem over there, but like, what were you talking about over there?
I think we'll save it for tomorrow's episode of Locked On Canucks.
Okay.
But Talkit was on Spit and Chicklets, had some comments about his time in Vancouver. We got a couple days before the Canucks play games, so let's wrap it up here. We'll talk about the next episode of Locked On Canucks. Some people say I'm an old Milwaukee guy in the comments. Some people saying that, Kyle, you have nice hair, man. So shout out to you and that nice head of hair you got on your head. But I got to go back to drinking my French Merlot. It's done, baby. But I got to get back to drinking, man, because I'm done thinking about this team. I'm Trevor Banks. That guy's Cal Bowen. If you like what we're doing here, share the episode with a friend. You can like and subscribe on YouTube, on the podcast. Go follow us, leave a 5-star review. It all helps us out a lot. I'm thankful for you guys tuning in, man. You guys and gals.
I'm thankful for the Canucks, Trevor. I'm thankful for the Canucks. Go Canucks, go. We got this. 79 games left. Fucking man. Oh, peace out,
okay.
man.
Locked On Canucks. Let's get.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.